I spent about half of the 2020s hosting a podcast called Delayed Replay, recapping and reviewing movies that came out on time in my universe but got delayed in that other universe. And as such, the movies as they were in my universe came out differently. Some listeners not of this universe even think that this is an improvised comedy podcast. And hey, let them think what they want. It's entertaining either way, right? I'm Steven Shinder, and you're listening to Delayed Replay Season 6. Hashtag 6 seasons about movies. New episode every other Saturday. Unless I say otherwise. Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Delayed Replay, that podcast where we recap and review movies, or in this case, a video game that got delayed in that other universe but came out on time in our universe. I'm your host, Steven Shinder, and joining me to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6, he is a gamer himself. Of course, it is Starrapter. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going great. I just got off of the Doom, the Dark Ages. I've been slaying demons. Now I'm going to be talking about the people of a Florida type environment going crazy and stealing cars and shooting people. It's going to be a good night of gaming for me, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, demon slaying is a trending thing these days. I guess all you needed was to put K-pop music on while playing, if you know. But yeah, so this game apparently in that other universe is delayed to May of next year, and more recently, like a few days ago or last week or something, it got delayed to November of next year. So kind of sucks that they have to wait longer, but we got to play it here. I think my other self is still like only has a PlayStation 4, whereas I was playing this on my PlayStation 5, and man, what a game. But before getting into that, what's your general experiences with the Grand Theft Auto video game series? Like, how'd you get into it?
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I'm one of the old heads, right? I'm in my 30s, so I'm old enough to remember when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. I guess I would have been in middle school at that time. And it's not that I was against like having a PS2 or something, but I had an Xbox, came from a middle class family, so I couldn't have like every system as they came out. So I had the Xbox, so that meant I had to go and have a friend that had a PS2, and I happened to have one that lived nearby, and I would go over there and watch him play Grand Theft Auto 3. And then eventually they ported from, because Grand Theft Auto used to be just a PlayStation 2 kind of franchise. And then eventually they started putting them on Xbox. So the first time I actually got this rented a game from Blockbuster was Vice City, which oddly enough is going to tie into tonight's episode because we are also dealing with that whole region in Vice City in Grand Theft Auto 6. So I got into it with that. As we all know, the controversy of Grand Theft Auto, especially with the third one, of as I said right off the top, like you're able to just do crazy stuff, run people over, shoot people. A lot of the news is really like shines a light on this game franchise as, oh my gosh, it's so violent, it's going to make my kid a monster with violence, and we all know that's not true. It's other factors involved with that sort of thing. But this is the zeitgeist, right? Like when Grand Theft Auto comes out, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out over 10 years ago, and I was in college. Every time one of these games comes out, it's like the cultural zeitgeist is basically everybody's talking about this. Everybody from like even the news channels, the general news will be talking about this game. It expands past the gaming sphere, and it really becomes a cultural touchstone moment of history. Whenever Rockstar puts out these games, it's getting longer and longer in the tail to put out these games. As you mentioned, that poor other universe that people think like me that are optimistic that the game will get delayed once, then it gets delayed again. And in that other universe, there's still people not really believing Rockstar saying it's coming out the following November,
Yeah,
which
it's
is now a whole year delay.
yeah, it's like I bet they're wondering something like at this point, are we getting Grand Theft Auto 6 first or Elder Scrolls 6 first? You know?
Oh my gosh, facts on that one, man. Oh yeah, when it comes to Bethesda, comes to Rockstar, comes to CD Projekt Red. These are the touchstone games that Witcher, Elder Scrolls, Grand Theft Auto. Those are the tiers of like these are the games you want to be playing when they come out right away because everybody, your coworkers, your friends, your family is going to be all gathering in the water cooler moment and be like, "Hey, I did this really cool thing. Look at this game clip I captured of." And same thing with like Red Dead Redemption 2 when that came out. That was Rockstar's last game. I had a great. That's one of my favorite games of all time. Like there's so many like fun little like moments that you walk her through this village and you'll see things that other people won't see. You'll be like, "Did you see that?" And they're like, "No." It's a really good these open world games. That's what these are. These open world games really have a fun playground and sandbox to get into. But yeah, I mean that's by history. These are some of my favorite games that ever have been creative. Like also Grand Theft Auto 5 was there. It was like that example of this is the game came out on the 360. That's how old the last Grand Theft Auto was. Completely skipped like the Xbox One era, basically. Like that's how long it's been taking to make the game. But I was in college. I went to like a typical college party at the time, and people were drinking, people were partying, and then people were playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on the big screen in the basement.
Yeah.
Like people could care less about what else was happening around them. They were just playing Grand Theft Auto 5 at that point. It's just like okay.
Yeah. So my history with the games is my older brother, he I guess borrowed Vice City from a friend or something, or maybe he rented it from like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster or something. You know, back when he could rent
Yeah.
video games from video
Yes.
stores. Man, what a time. So yeah,
Oh.
he would play Vice City, which came out in 2002. I would have been like 7 or 8, and I was just so fascinated by how you could just like roam around and drive around and basically just, like fight people just for the heck of it. And
Yeah.
so occasionally he would let me like just I don't know beat people up because I thought it was funny. But in that particular game, I remember we were still in that age where if you go in the water, you die automatically,
Oh
and it's like,
gosh.
well,
Yeah.
is he allergic to water or something? But then a couple years later, we played San Andreas. Well, I would
Mm.
watch my brother play it, and sometimes he'd let me free roam or whatever. But I think in like 2007 was when I finally like went ahead and actually did the missions in San Andreas, so I was able to play that story from beginning to end, and it was so satisfying. I loved the different places, like you could go into the wilderness, there's a mountain,
Mm.
and you basically have like Los Santos, which is Los Angeles. You have this
Yeah.
San Francisco like area, yeah, and this Las Vegas like area, and you have these awesome cheat codes, like you could like get a jetpack or something.
Huh.
And later, whenever Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, I kind of saw bits of it when my cousin played it. And in 2016, we visited my sister and the family over there up in Oregon, and my brother-in-law, he received Grand Theft Auto 5, so I saw him begin to play it, and he let me just like drive around and run over people and whatever, and everyone called it like Steve style of playing. Um, uh, but yeah, for me, like it's just when it comes to entertainment, it's really easy for me to fall behind on games because I put more of my energy into like watching stuff and reading stuff. Like I'd played Red Dead Redemption in high school when I borrowed it from a friend, but when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I was working at Target, so I saw when they were like
Mm.
stocked on the shelves, but I still haven't played it yet, even though I really want to. And just 2 years ago, I finally got my own copy of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I've barely like put a dent in it in all this time. So when 6 came out, here in our universe, I'm like, okay, thankfully each of these Grand Theft Auto games are standalone stories. So I gotta like get on it, like play the sixth one right now, and I'll circle back to the other one sometime. And man, like this is quite the gaming experience. Like they really went all out with this.
Yeah, I really, Rockstar, you could say they take forever with their games, but man, is their track record really, really good. I mean, it doesn't guess it's why they get hyped up as more than movies and more than any other entertainment. Like you look at Grand Theft Auto 5, it still has made the most money out of any other entertainment thing, period, music, movies, etc. And then, I follow like the charts on sales and stuff. And for like years, it was in the top 10. It just wouldn't leave the top 10. Like years later, it was always there every single month. And that's partly in due with Grand Theft Auto 5 had the online mode. I don't care for the online mode. It's just like it's very kind of, I guess it's like choose your own adventure kind of thing where you just go out and just have fun and shoot things. And I'm looking for more of the narrative adventure style of like give me the good story, let me play around and do things as I want, but still give me that more of a linear kind of, not linear in the fashion of like the story itself, but just like more of a direction. But yeah, I mean, like you said, like these games are 5 and 6 are in completely other geographical locations on the planet. Like this one, 6 is set in Florida, basically. And we've seen that first trailer, the first teaser trailer came out over a year ago. Just I love how much Grand Theft Auto always leans into like the satire, and this one they really went hard into the Florida kind of vibes of how people could be a little bit strange down in those parts. I'm in the Northeast, you're on the West Coast there, so maybe both of us don't entirely see that on a day to day, but like from what I've seen in the trailers, I'm like, okay, this is going to be something else, and I think they probably nailed the vibe pretty good with like the Florida man thing and just the crazy hijinks in Miami and people going wild.
They really lean into the Florida attractions as well. Like this game has like its own version of, in our world we have Disney World over in Florida, but what was the name that they gave like this GTA World's version of Disney World?
Oh, I think they just called it I don't know, Fantasyland or something. It was like some really generic name. I was like, okay, guys, like try to think a little bit harder about that one maybe next time. Like, I really like the game, but as you'll notice, like for my thoughts, my review is like I'll have a lot of little nitpicks along the way with some certain things, which I can get over. But I was like, Fantasyland, like that sounds like just like the most sea level like it out in Oklahoma, like theme park or something like that.
Yeah, and if they add like a ferret as a mascot or something, it's like, okay, this like, but in all fairness, what's cool about this is that you're able to also go to this amusement park like after hours in order to like complete a mission where um, you have to like get these roller coaster parts that are supposed to help out with some sort of robbery, and so like there's interesting things like that you wouldn't even think about like before playing this game. So I kind of do dig the creativity there, but yeah, I wonder like how careful they had to be in order to like try not to piss off like that the company this is based on.
That's what's so good about Grand Theft Auto is the satire, the way that they're able to skirt around exactly like you said, like poking fun at stuff. I guess in a way like that, like maybe South Park kind of does it, right? Like in that manner where it's like, okay, they can just get by. We know what they're trying to poke fun at, but it's just enough to like not get in trouble. But yeah, I agree. I thought that was cool having that location. It's like, okay, Florida, you think of a couple things. You think of Miami, you think of Disney World, you think of the beach maybe. So you got to have that in there. So I was like, yeah, all right. I was playing a game. I didn't think about it at the time, and then when it showed up, driving there, it's crazy. I was like, oh wow, that makes perfect sense that would go in there. Um,
Yeah, and like instead of Pirates of the Caribbean, they had Pirates of the Carrot Bean, and it's like this boat that looks like some strange vegetable that's like a hybrid between a carrot and a bean. So there's like silly things like that, but I was kind of having fun with it, and also I guess it kind of relates to like the mechanics that you also see in the game where you can be on a yacht and stuff and do all sorts of missions on that and on a boat and like the water around this state, it looks so real. Like they like
oh
just the
man.
coloration, it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? It's like Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar again. You play any of their games, they will put in a painstaking amount of effort into certain gameplay mechanics that people will never experience in mini games. For instance, like if you play Grand Theft Auto 5, they have a super robust tennis mini game that is probably it's like it could be purchased as its own game. Like that's how the quality is with the freaking game. Like they have Red Dead Redemption. You could play cards, you could play darts, you could do all this sort of stuff that in its own time you could spend 20 hours on this one little activity and somebody might walk right by it, right? So the idea that in this game in six they put in like a full-fledged like fishing mode so you can go and you could buy your own boat up to like the size of a yacht, and you could go out there and try to catch different fish, and then you could even catch sharks. I'm like, holy crap! And then
Yeah.
you bring them back, and you get money, and it's like it was such a relaxing activity that I found myself just like I did with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. In The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, when I played that game, I spent 20 hours just playing the Gwent card game and going, oh man, I actually have to play the story. I'm having such a great time. And that's always the kind of factor for me is like if an open world game really is one of the greats, it's activities like this fishing game. I don't even like fishing in real life. Like I find it so boring and just monotonous. And but forever in this game, like you said, the water looks so nice. Like I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm immersed. And like you can have the radio going as any classic Grand Theft Auto. We got to talk about the freaking radio stations. They're amazing. Again, you got like these like talk shows where these guys are talking. And oh my gosh, like the the political stuff in here. I'm like, oh man, the government, our government is not gonna really like this game at all. Like Rockstar is gonna get some flack from some certain officials in our government. Um, when they listen to what these people are saying. But that's great. They have a good rock and roll channel, they have a good hip hop channel, techno. So I'm just zenning out in
Yeah,
my boat.
there's even like a pop channel. Like they got a really recent song, Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh
So
yeah.
like they're really on the pulse, like trying to license these songs that feel like yeah, they would be on the radio these days.
Yeah, and then you could even you could while you're in this whole boat mini game thing, you could even like put on scuba gear and go and go around these reefs, I guess. And then you could find these oysters and different like valuable things that you can, bring and again sell them to the people at the docks and make a quick buck. So I've actually already made like $50,000 of money in the game because I've just been spending so much damn time like either fishing or I'll move the boat and I'll find on the mini map like, oh look, there's a little reef. I'll dive down in there. And then it's kind of cool because like there will be sharks down there. So you gotta get your stuff. And then like a few times I literally got eaten. And it's like, oh man, the death animation of like the shark like just going for my leg and just completely ripping the leg off, and you just see like the blood just like everywhere in the water, just spreading through the water, and it's like a shark frenzy. And I'm like, oh man, I know Grand Theft Auto has been really violent and bloody in the past, going back to the third game, but now with this next generation hardware on the Xbox and the PlayStation, right? It's like, oh man, that's pretty gnarly, as they say.
Yeah, what's interesting about this game is if you lose a limb, it gives you the option of like, okay, do you want a do-over or do you want to keep the limb lost and you have to go and get a prosthetic? And like like if you're one of the characters you play as, we'll talk about the characters in a little bit, but if who you're playing as loses a limb, then you get to like go to the hospital and get a prosthetic, and it can kind of have its own perks to it, like the way that it feels when you use like a prosthetic arm to like hit someone. It feels different. It feels like you're swinging like some sort of metal weapon, and the vibration is oddly satisfying, you know?
Yeah, and that is another big point for Rockstar Games, and going back to even like Red Dead Redemption 2, right? So when you're walking around, if you do get the prosthetic, you're walking around, you'll actually get like some of like the NPCs, like just the random people walking around. Like some of them might just like mention something about it. Like they might call you out on it, or they'll comment that you have the prosthetic. I'm like, I thought that was so cool. Like such a small little detail. Like they recorded voiceover specifically for like these people that walk by, and they'll mention that because like the other games, Red Dead Redemption 2, you're playing as Arthur Morgan, and you could choose to like not take a shower and let your hair grow, and it will literally get really long, your mustache, and people will like, oh, you stink, or like, you know, you should take a bath, and all this sort of stuff. So I liked how they continue down that, because that really, I talked about the word immersion. Rockstar does immersion pretty much better than nobody else out there on the planet with games. So it was really cool to see like, oh my gosh, like that's such the easy way out. Like, oh, every game will just put you at the checkpoint. Or you could live with your consequences and go, okay, we're gonna have to just live with it.
Right. So the main characters of this one are Jason Duvall, who is like, you know, a drug dealer, but he also used to be in the army. And the other person, you know, this is a couple, is Lucia Caminos. And she used to be like in some sort of prison after trying to like protect her family during a fight. So I thought it was interesting, you know, giving them these backstories, and even throughout the game, you'll occasionally get a flashback to their prior backstories. So you'll be Jason, like fighting in like some sort of Call of Duty-esque mission overseas. It's like, whoa, where the heck is this? Or
Yeah.
you'll get Lucia, you know, you'll play as her like navigating through a prison and helping some inmates do their own prison break. It's like, wow, so like we're really going all out here with these different locations, even outside of this state.
Yeah, it goes back to Red Dead. I'm gonna keep making references because it's such a good game. And it's their previous game, Red Dead Redemption 2. There was a mission about halfway through that game where you're suddenly like on an island like near Cuba, and most of that game takes place in kind of like the New Orleans, like the deep south for the most part, up to the west as well. So they have had a habit of just kind of switching things up and just like, oh, you're used to this location. Well, you never would have thought you're here now. So yeah, that'd be crazy. That was still crazy. And it was nice because in this game they do give you the option if you want to play in first person or third person mode. So when it went to like the Call of Duty esque part with Jason, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just zoom and play this like it's Call of Duty right now. I like playing the war games, the immersive, talk about immersive again, just like in the head of the soldier running around, and man, those gun mechanics were really good. And as somebody that has played pretty much all the modern entries of the Rockstar games, one of the biggest criticisms my friends have of it and other people do is the control scheme has been kind of dated for a while. And the idea was, okay, we just are tired of hitting the A button repeatedly to run forward? Why can't we just like hold down a thumbstick or like the really modern type of stuff that we're used to? So I was happy that Rockstar did finally modernize the controls. So it did feel in general very, very good. But yeah, I mean, going back to the characters of so Lucia and Jason are basically the Bonnie and Clyde. And what's really nice is that Rockstar, yeah, I like how they try to keep things unique from game to game. So you're playing as one character as part of a crew of this gang on the run from the government, the police, kind of at that point in Red Dead Redemption 2. In Grand Theft Auto 5, that was really interesting because you're playing from three different characters. One guy's like a mobster from The Sopranos, another guy's Trevor, who is basically just like this like redneck kind of guy, and then you also have, oh goodness, I forget the other character.
Franklin.
Yep, he's like carved like the gangster kind of guy. And now it's like, okay, we get a different vibe here. Now we're actually having this romantic kind of synergy between these characters, and yes, one of them had they both have different backstories, they both have different skills and abilities, which I thought was really fun because you could pretty much on the fly, just like the fifth game, just like Grand Theft Auto 5, you could jump back between them. Now certain points, obviously, when she's in prison, you can't really be playing as her because that would be rather boring, just like walking around your cell doing nothing. But I did like the change in gameplay where it's like Lucia is better at like talking and getting through situations with charisma, and you have Jason who's just like the tough guy, the powerhouse who's really good with weapons, really good in unarmed combat. So you leverage the two characters in situations that the story would present that you want to, and you can play either one in either situation. It's up to the player. That's what's, like I said before, about the nice thing is like, okay, you can kind of, each person playing the game, I could have a different experience from you in a certain mission, and vice versa. So yeah, I mean they're cool characters. I liked how there's that. It's funny because like the one iconic weapon that Jason uses like harkens back to The Walking Dead with Negan, and he uses this barbed wire baseball bat.
Yeah.
Um and he's kind of like a vigilante in a sense where he's just all right, like he's working with the military, but he's kind of taking a break at this point. Um but like the only thing he can do to keep himself busy was what he did what in the past before he joined the military was, getting caught up with this organized crime kind of stuff. And that's what most of these games deal with when it comes to the Grand Theft Auto games. Um, it's kind of the typical thing here, but I did really like how they dove in pretty deep. He has these paternal issues, that kind of set him up to be kind of a bad, like a bad boy kind of vibe in the first place, you know. So what'd you think about his character and backstory and all that?
Yeah, I thought he was, he is a real hothead at times. He has a huge temper. And he also has this friend named Cal Hampton, who is just always paranoid, but that's because he does ecstasy. And there's even that part of the game where Jason accidentally uses Cal's ecstasy, and so as you're
Oh,
playing as him, you're like tripping out, kind of similar to that trip out moment in Grand Theft Auto 5, but amplified even more. So
mm-hmm.
you get like these visions of like even more aliens, or like the moon seems like it's crashing down into the ocean and there's like a tsunami and stuff. It's just really insane. It's really weird. But yeah, like we got all these different characters. Booby Ike runs like a business empire. Um, and Vice City is one of the prominent locations here. Like we said, this is basically Florida. They call it Leonida here, and you got the Leonida Keys. And yeah, you even it, I don't remember if any of the other Grand Theft Auto games, like if any of the more recent ones have this, but I do remember in San Andreas and I think Vice City as well, you had like these music artists and you'd have like a record label involved. Here we have only Raw Records, and there you have this guy who owns the label, Draquan Priest, and you got this music duo called Real Dimes, which is made up of Bay Lux and Roxy. So they really flesh out the world here. It's yeah, and there are more characters, but yeah, with I mean with a company name like Rockstar, you kind of have to involve some sort of music related storyline. So I think it's cool that you get to do missions for like this guy at Only Raw Records and you get to like use the recording studio. They even let you like create your own tracks within this game, which is
Yeah.
kind of challenging in and of itself here.
Again, this is stuff that is totally not necessary, but Rockstar does not do anything in half measures. And again, I'm already seeing it like online. People just posting like actual MP3 files, and it's like, oh yeah, I made this in Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like, what? Like that sounds like it's produced professionally. What you built this in a video game? Like, what in the world? This is why this studio is just like they could just do whatever they want. Like they get the blank check from Take Two, their publisher. It's just like most games, it's like they have a deadline, they have to be out at a certain time. This thing can get delayed like five times, and the publisher will like not even bat an eye. They're like, just make it good. So hey, we get another 6 months. We could throw in another crazy little mini game in there. You know?
Yeah. And you also get like it's pretty ironic that, one of these characters is like, oh, people are just putting things together with these programs, but here we make music like the real way, but we're doing it within a video game, so it's kind of ironic. Um, but yeah, you got these other characters like Raul Batista, who is pretty experienced with bank robbery and helps them out with the bank robbery that's like the inciting incident here. And you also have Brian Heater, who is also like a drug dealer, but also Jason's landlord. So they kind of have a funny dynamic where he's like, hey, where's the rent? And so you can either like pay him in rent or pay him by a like stealing drugs from some other people in the town. And so like just really creative missions like that where it's like you can solve an obstacle like a couple different ways, you know?
That's what's so great about open world games. And yeah, the heists were really fun. The bank heist, because that was one of the bigger features in Grand Theft Auto 5, is just you'd have the different perspectives of the characters. This person would be doing this part of the job. Then you would zoom in on the other character. They'd be in the middle of this job, and and it was very much similar to that, but it was even more refined. It was even more polished. And you're rattling off the whole list of different side characters, and they are always very important to the story of these Grand Theft Auto games, because while the protagonists are very layered and fleshed out characters, it's these side characters that provide a lot of more insights and a lot of humor most of the time. And it just makes the world feel more alive when you have not just the protagonist, but like everybody around them is also very interesting, So I did appreciate again them laying that foundation with these characters and going for it. And you talk about like when you talk about Grand Theft Auto, a lot of time you're talking about, oh, what about this mission? Or what'd you think about this mission over here? Like you always talk about the missions, because the missions they design, like you said, first of all, they're so interesting. A lot of times they're so over the top, but then you could also tackle from completely different areas. You could be in the car, you could be walking on foot, you could be killing everybody in sight, you could be not harming anybody not even throwing a single punch to get through it. So they definitely take a page out of like, some of the Fallout games, some of the Elder Scrolls games where you could do the very thing I'm talking about. Um, they even added like role playing elements into the game. So for instance, I was talking about Lucia, she's more like a silver tongue kind of like a sweet talker kind of thing. Because you could literally just like walk up to like one of the NPCs and just like have a dialogue tree like you would in any of these other RPGs, and select the right thing, combination of quotes, speaking dialogue, and then you get through, and the people are cool with you. So like, for instance, I'm actually allied because you can actually make alliances with these different factions. Um, so I was allied with the Red Gators. Again, like these names just they're so on the nose. Fantasyland, Red
Yeah.
Gators. It's like, oh my goodness. And then like so like I'm allied with the Red Gators, and yet you said they were like violent every time you came across them. Whereas for me, they're like giving me access to new guns and different things like that. And like this is cool because you could literally get reputation with these different factions, that'll open up opportunities that other people don't have. So again, like more non-linear kind of storytelling, but also for just navigation around the world. And I think that the navigation around the world is really great. Driving hasn't felt better. It feels like I'm driving in Forza Horizon, which is like the best racing game you could play. But now it's like Grand Theft Auto. And a lot of the times, Grand Theft Auto, when it first came out, driving was kind of crappy, I'll be honest. Like in 3 and maybe Vice City, it got a little bit better. But in this one, again, talk about the detail. You can spend literally hours putting together like your own custom car, everything from the rims to the exhaust to the paint job or the wrap you could put around the car, all these little tiny things. I'm like, again, for me, this the story might only be like 40 hours long, which is actually really long for like a game like this. But to actually do all like the side missions and spend time in the mini games, this game will probably last a lot of people 200 plus hours easy. And that's not even doing the online mode that they're promising they're going to give us by the end of the year.
Yeah, and you mentioned the like silver tongue aspect. Like you could convince someone on the street to like just give you money. Like you could convince them that, oh, I need it for this, or I'm fundraising for that. So it's kind of fun how you can basically like steal money from people without having to fight. Like it's kind of a different way of approaching it from time to time.
Yeah, because you know, Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar, they always implement something new, some kind of new mechanic, some kind of unique mechanic. And it was one of those hidden features, and they did not even hint at this feature in any of the promotional material, trailers, screenshots. We didn't have any idea that this was going to be in the game. They put it out in the game, and I was expecting people to lose their minds. Like, this is not Grand Theft Auto. Stop trying to make it Fallout. Stop trying to make it, Witcher 3 with these dialogue trees. And I'm like, guys, you don't even have to do that. You could just go in there guns blazing, and just choose not to even interact with these people. Um, but it seems like most people unanimously love it, and it gives like more options to play with and interact with the game. So I've been engaging with it. I'm a big RPG fan. If you don't like it, you can turn. Actually, there's a setting in the settings you can turn off that entire feature. So like your character will automatically say what it's going to defaultly say without you having to do it. And that's another thing. With gaming these days, there's a lot of work put into what's called as accessibility. And accessibility used to mean like, okay, people that can only play with one hand or something like that, they might be impaired. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now you can go through and you could actually do a lot of other features like Doom the Dark Ages does this really well, where like you could speed up the speed of the game, you could slow down the speed of projectiles, and they do this very similar thing Grand Theft Auto. Like you can you can like make the game basically go in slow-mo. You could just be running around in slow-mo. You can actually have the game kind of play the game for you. So if you want to actually just like sit back and relax, you could just put this thing on the big screen and just have your guy, your character just like running around, just experiencing a story by yourself. Because like it's such a big thing now. Like people won't even play games. Like they'll just go watch their favorite YouTuber or they'll watch their favorite Twitch streamer just playing the game. And now you can literally do that just with like an AI. Like the AI in this game is so good that it will just run through the game and it'll be a different experience. Like my AI guy will play and do the mission different than yours. And sometimes they might die and sometimes they'll live. But I was like, wow, they Grand Theft Auto Rockstar have made a game that you don't even necessarily have to play if you put on this setting. I thought that was wild that it was buried in the setting somewhere. Again, not even advertised. There's like so many like, and I appreciate that because a lot of the times I feel like with these games, they're previewing the games, and there's by the time that all these preview coverage comes out, there's nothing exciting to like discover for yourself. Whereas Grand Theft Auto is like they put out two trailers and then they just dropped the game. Like there was no other things. Like the trailer was 6 months old at that point. We didn't see anything of it. It's like, here's the game, guys. Enjoy it. It's all together 100%. There was no patching necessary. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it in this day and age in 2025. We're getting a game that doesn't have a day one patch. Everything is working as intended. Plus, there's so many things to explore. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any cool things that like you found that were unique or like you discovered that you're like, oh, this is cool. I haven't seen anybody do this before.
Yeah, one of my favorite missions was I don't know if you've played this. It's like one of the sort of side missions that are like on the side was if you go to this Thai restaurant, like if you eat there enough times, then the owner will ask you to like do a mission for them, which is to like go after this competing restaurant that stole their recipe. And so you'll have to like break into this other restaurant and try to like take it from like this vault that they have the recipe in, which I guess they didn't digitize because they are paranoid about getting hacked and having it stolen that way. So you kind of have to go in and covertly like steal the recipe back and thankfully like it's like a super complicated recipe, otherwise they would just memorize it, I guess. But yeah, stuff like that where it's like really fun and also the food looks really good. Like it's I kept getting like really hungry. It's like I have to like order takeout or something while I do this type of mission.
Oh yeah, and like again, another activity we see in all the major cities. You could be a literal Uber driver, or I forget the name they called it. You know, the fast food, the not fast food, but just like the food delivery service. So you can just
Yeah, that like they have DoorDash
yeah,
and and they have oh the car one it's called I think it's called Tire, but with a Y, something
yeah,
weird like that. Yeah.
yeah. So I also found myself just like it was like this moment of catharsis where I was like, I'm just like feeling really good just going around on my bike or even my skateboard or my motorcycle or whatever thing I want to use to just like get my book bag, go to the Thai restaurant. Because after you do that mission you're talking about, that's when this side job opens up. They're like, oh, you can continue working for us and we'll pay you a good rate to do this. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because at the same time that I'm doing this, I'm actually increasing I'm mainly playing as Jason in the game right now. And you actually increase his stamina, you increase his so I'm actually like it's pretty neat because again, your character's build reflects on the exercise and what they're eating. So my guy is pretty lean right now because he's doing a lot of biking. So I'm like, all right, I'm doing that. You can even go to the gym and you can lift weights and you can gain muscle mass, which will allow you to have like, you can carry more stuff, more weapons with more muscle mass. You can hit people harder if you do like unarmed combat, stuff like that. So I'm happy that they brought that back in I think that was in San Andreas where you could do like cool stuff like that, where it would actually like the stuff you do repeatedly actually makes your guy stronger or something. So it's like, I'll do the side job for a little bit because from what I've seen online, it's like the fastest way to like make you go faster on bikes and skateboards is to just keep doing that sort of stuff, right? Obviously, you train like you would in real life for what you're gonna do, get you stronger, get you faster by doing that thing repeatedly. So I was like, I'm making money, I'm putting on the radio, and I'm just doing this, and it's fun. And there you go. So that's what I've been doing again. Again, I haven't gotten that far. I know we're reviewing the game. I haven't really gotten that far into. I hate to review games where I don't finish the story, but that's how good this game is, man. I'm like, are we gonna do this review in a timely fashion? Because if we are, I'm gonna have to just like stop all these side activities. But it just got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, I did maybe 10 hours of the story. So I that's why I haven't been really talking that much about the story because I'm just so enamored by all these other features that I've just been loving.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens in the story itself is, there's this conspiracy thing going on where Jason and Lucia find out about this shady organization that is trying to stop a Pride Parade. And so you have to like stop this organization, but you have to do it in a covert fashion so that there's not a huge like uproar and finger pointing type of thing. So you have to like sneak into like these different places and like drug the people before they can like try to stop the parade. And so basically so that they like sleep through it, or you like lock them up in certain places so that they don't like make it, and so the parade happens peacefully and stuff. Like stuff like that. Like I did not expect this sort of thing, but it's another example of like Grand Theft Auto being current. And we talking about how they do like satire and stuff. Like it felt also kind of refreshing how like you have to like stop these people but do it in like an inconspicuous way instead of like going in guns blazing like you can with some of the other missions in this.
Yeah, again, mission variety has always been the cornerstone for Grand Theft Auto, whether it be driving missions or taking a person from point A to point B, which is pretty normal, to the elaborate heist, to again, creative stuff like this, where it's like, okay, this is a hot button topic. Again, this game really gets into that thin line where it's like, okay, we're commenting on current events and things like that in the political sphere, and so I thought that was really, I thought it was really bold that they did that. As I'm like, oh man, I could see this going bad. I could see there being clips all over the internet, and there will be, but hey, it's a game, it's fiction. That's what this all is, like fiction, right? You're just pushing the envelope a little bit, but people sometimes take it too seriously. But anyway, I really enjoyed that mission. I did really enjoy that mission. It did provide. I think that's probably as far as I got to the game. I don't think I was much further than that at that point, but I mean, like the whole. I would say I probably got through the first act of the game when you're still the first act is you're still dealing with like Lucia in the prison. A lot of the gameplay, as I said, was coming from Jason's POV. So we're at that point, but yeah, crazy. What'd you think? Oh yeah, this was another crazy thing. They actually utilize like their own version of like TikTok or something like in the game. So your character will get notifications on his phone, and you can actually just like sort of like doom scroll through like this kind of freaking thing on TikTok thing. And you could sit there for hours like people do in real life. I'm like, how does Rockstar have this much content to just put on this thing specifically for the game? Like somebody's team of people was to make a fictional like CGI generated clips of people doing stupid crazy stuff. I'm like, this is mind blowing.
Yeah, I think the version of TikTok in this is called Bell Yap or something. Um, and like if you scroll, you can like see some like really annoying videos. Like some of them here and there are kind of funny, but yeah, like they're just really trying to, again, it's a satire. It's like, yeah, some of this is really stupid. Like go out and touch some grass and you can. Like there is like a GTA version of the Everglades here, and there's kind of some
Uh,
goofy stuff. Like you can see like like one of the missions is like trying to get a picture of a supposed like swamp monster type of thing. Just stuff like that where it's like you can get really silly and just get in the nitty gritty of this region.
yeah, yeah. Talk about even the wildlife. Like it was fun because I was walking around. I was just strolling. Like sometimes I just love to do that in this game. Like not even running. Like I slow my guy down to just like walk casually on a nice summer day in Florida. And all of a sudden I hear a bunch of yelling. And it's not part of a mission. This is like an emergent thing that just happened. It probably wouldn't even happen to anybody else, but I was happy to experience it because I'm walking and all of a sudden I hear this barking. I hear a lady going yelling like, "Help! Somebody help!" So I'm in this like little suburban area. Then I run and then I go over this fence to see, and the lady is like standing, and there's the pool, and there's a freaking alligator that has this poor little puppy like in its jaws, and I'm like, oh crap! So I got my character Jason to get his barbed wire bat. I pulled it from across. I had it stowed across my back, and I pulled it out. Then I just bludgeoned the freaking alligator to finally let go of the thing, and then I basically was able to get like a nice little reward from the lady. Me like $5,000 for it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this woman's loaded to give me like $5,000. And the best part of it was the Grand Theft Auto of it all. As I was like taking a page out of Red Dead Redemption 2, I ended up hauling the alligator carcass to then get like turned into like alligator meat, and I made some more money off of that. But it was bizarre because I had my motorcycle and I threw the alligator like on the back of my motorcycle somehow to transport him to this like redneck like business that deals with like harvesting the alligator carcasses. So I was just like, I don't expect anybody to go through what I just did because that was just random as hell.
Yeah, like that. How's that for hashtag barbecue watch, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, just
This is Grand Theft Auto 6. Like I could have stories like this all night long because there's just so many cool things. And that's what's fun about these games is, you don't take them too seriously. Don't play them too quick. Don't rush through them in like 2 weeks. Like as I say with these games, not that I'm a wine drinker, but like you sip this thing like fine wine, they say, or whatever. It's like savor it, take your time, smell the roses, go out there, just walk around, and you'll be surprised at what Rockstar puts in that game that they think only maybe 10% of the player base will actually see. And that's what's really cool is like everywhere you look, there's some detail, something going on.
yeah. Who needs to go outside when you can just walk around and explore Grand Theft Auto, you know?
Yeah, I'm ready for the PC VR, expansion where somehow I could use a VR headset because, like you're right, like I said, you could play the game in first person already. So what's to say that you can't just use my like a Meta Quest headset or something like that to just like plug in and just play like that, and then you'll really be immersed. Oh my goodness, that would be insane.
Yeah, and again, like this, I believe this is like the first Grand Theft Auto game where you have a female protagonist or playable female protagonist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I really like the character. She's got that she's Latina, which is awesome because that's like, I they've had different diversity in the other games obviously, but it's still cool and it's part of the vibe. Obviously, you're in Florida. There's a large demographic of Latina. So it's cool to see that all happening. but then you got Jason as well. So yeah, it was a really cool character to see. And again, the romance, definitely not safe for work, or definitely want to keep the kids away at
No,
certain
yeah,
points because
it's a
they,
staple of Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
yeah, ever since the whole hot coffee scandal from San Andreas and all that nonsense. We're in Miami, so stuff is elevated even more. Like you're going to these nightclubs, and like you said, there's the ecstasy that you can partake in, if you so desire. My person ended up blacking out, ending up in a cellar somewhere. Just woke up in a cellar, and I'm like, my character was nowhere near this place. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, I still have like all my organs. Hopefully, both of my kidneys are still there because I'm waking up in this dingy dungeon looking, cellar going, oh crap, So there's consequences. You can party hard, but yeah, your character might wake up with like some, maybe he's missing a leg, and then you'll have to get a prosthetic
Yeah.
now.
Or you have to go on a mission where you try to regain a couple of your organs
Oh
and then
yeah.
you have to get to the hospital by a certain time.
Oh man, that sums up Grand Theft Auto 6. If that doesn't, I don't know what will.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on before we sort of go into final thoughts and scores?
Yeah, no, I just want to say that um this is they freaking did it, man. They pulled it off again. I'm still waiting for like Rockstar to have that one misstep. I know they did other games like years and years ago where that maybe they weren't the best received sometimes, but man, their track record still holds true. This does new unique things that other Grand Theft Autos haven't done. It's like improved what they've done before by helping like smooth out the control schemes and just adding so many quality of life things that just make navigating and enjoying the game just a better experience overall. But yeah, it took them over 10 years for this game. I'm expecting them to take probably 20 years for the next game. So yeah, look forward to Grand Theft Auto 7 in 2045 because it could take
Yeah.
that long again.
And I
But
mean,
yeah.
and people, I'm sure I've seen like the screenshots of this, but at the end of the credits, it says Grand Theft Auto will return in Liberty City.
Yeah, I mean about darn time, man, because we were in San Andreas, basically the last one. We're in Vice City. Now they're going to be in sort of my neck of the woods. So I live in New Jersey, and New Jersey is a lot of the times it's entwined with New York City, obviously. So I fully expect them not to go too much into this. Is like they'll have like parts of like North Jersey, like the suburbs, maybe have Staten Island, maybe have Liberty City, right? Like the general geography of what you would expect from America, as we know from the lens of Grand Theft Auto. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the taxis and getting the pizza and all that sort of thing. Hopefully, um, I don't even know what the landscape will look like. We might not even have systems by then, man. It might be fully cloud enabled where you're just subscribing to a service just to play a game off whatever device because that's the way that the world is trending toward with how fast things are with the internet and infrastructure. But anyway, getting away from it, I really love this game. Um, it's it's hard for me to compare it to the other two because it's still so fresh. Like I said, my top five games right now, two of them are from Rockstar, and that's Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5. So I don't know where in the pantheon this one will fall. Again, I'm not even done with the story. So it's really hard for me to give this a score. But if I were to give it a score, I'd probably have to give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It's just because I haven't finished the story, so I'm not comfortable with giving it a 10 out of 10. God forbid they fumbled the landing there, but that's my take on it. If you don't have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or S, uh, go get one if you want to play this game. It's a system seller. People that have been on the fence that have had a PS4, this is the way to upgrade. This is when you want to upgrade to play this darn game.
Yeah, and what's your unit of measurement for that score?
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Oh, alligator sausage links. I'll give it a 9.5 alligator sausage links out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, so I've gone through the whole story, so it's like pretty much just all the side missions I need to do still. Like I've done some of them, but have a lot more to discover. But I feel comfortable giving this a 10 out of 10 rock stars. Like it takes a lot for me to commit to a game these days, especially when I'm so busy. And this was just so addictive in a good way, and it just like brought me back into wanting to play a video game for hours on end. So I think they really nailed it here. So major props to Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto 6 here. It's just so good. I can't say enough great things about it.
Oh yeah, I will admit, and hopefully my boss doesn't hear this. I called out sick for about 3 days when this game came out because I
Yeah.
knew I was not gonna want to have to take a break to go to work. So I was like, oh, I think I'm coming down with something. I'm gonna have
That's
to email the boss.
Grand Theft Auto Fever.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Right. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this Grand Theft Auto 6 discussion. Thanks for joining me again, Starraptor. Where can people find your stuff?
Oh, of course, Steven. It's fun as always. Love to get on here and chat, and especially switch things up and talk about my other favorite passion, video games. But yeah, you can find me on twitter.com at Starraptor, where I'll be talking about video games. I have a little thread there. I've been keeping track of all the games I've played so far this year. So I have my 2 cents on a lot of these games I've played that are backlog games, but also new games. I also mainly talk about Star Wars on my Twitter as well. And then if you want to see me physically, like if you want to see me on the screen talking about Star Wars, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Starraptor for all your latest on the reviews for the comics and books, the series, and more. So thanks for having me on here. As always, I had a good time. And yeah, have fun over there in Vice City, everybody.
Yeah. And I'm sure at some point in the near future, we'll probably get together with our other online friends to discuss, the final season of Jurassic World Chaos Theory. I think you and I, and maybe one of the others, have finished that show so far, but yeah, like overall, like without giving away too much, like how'd you feel about the final season?
It was phenomenal. It was excellent. It was moving. It was exciting. It was a beeline for the ending. It wasn't messing around. It didn't really waste time, right? You had 9 episodes, which is one less than they usually have. So I was already concerned, like, oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
what
I
are we
didn't
doing
even
here?
think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing here? But it was so engaging. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch 3 episodes today, 3 episodes tomorrow, 3 episodes. Dude, I just like basically I binged the entire thing. I can't say in one sitting. Dude, like they get up, go to the bathroom, get food in between. Um, but yeah, I watched the whole thing in a 3.5 hour span of time.
No, yeah, whenever a new season of these animated Jurassic shows comes out, I tend to watch it like within the same day, and this was no exception. And it got very emotional. This was, I said earlier on online that this was the most on the edge of my seat I've ever been during any Jurassic media I've experienced. It's that good. So. Very much looking forward to discuss in detail with our friends in the near future whenever that happens.
I agree. This might be the best Jurassic. Like if I'm looking at all of Chaos Theory as a whole, and Camp Cretaceous, it's second only to the original. I feel like at this point, as far as
Mm.
like any Jurassic media. Oh, we have a game coming out, Jurassic Park Survival, that's coming out next year. So maybe that'll fit in that pantheon of the best Jurassic Park stories. I hope so. But yeah, Jurassic Chaos Theory is a fantastic series. I cannot wait to talk about it in detail when we get together with the other guys.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for tuning in, folks. That's it for this one. And without further delay, have a good day. All right. So, apart from Jurassic World Chaos Theory, another thing that dropped on Netflix was the A Man on the Inside season 2. So, my other self will share non-spoiler thoughts about that as well as Wicked for Good in just a moment. But first, the plugs. Follow the social media handles over in the show notes. Go to stevenshinder.com for info on my standalones and stepping stones novels and where you can get them. You can also find me on Yes Shift, a prog rock podcast I do with my dad, and sometimes I have other people on. Had a interesting discussion about early Yes internet fandom with a couple of friends on there, Simon and Miguel. So yeah, that and lots of other stuff on there. And check out Drum Talk TV Brilliance and the artist Q&As we have there. And if you want to write to this podcast, you can email delayedreplaypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on Florida, your favorite or least favorite aspects of it. I don't know. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. And without further delay, here's my other self. Hey everyone, so yeah, Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Great show, great final season. Not sure if they'll do more animated Jurassic stuff. I wouldn't mind if they do something with a new set of characters, because I'm really happy with the journey as is with these characters. You know, they really put us through a lot of stuff. I'll just say that. But yeah, I guess we'll see with the Jurassic franchise. But another thing that dropped the same day as that final season was A Man on the Inside season 2, where Ted Danson plays this private investigator, and in this one he gets a love interest who is played by his real life wife, Mary Steenburgen, and I think that's how her last name is pronounced, right? But anyway, the season was good, but I kind of feel like maybe it's another one of those shows where the first season is clearly better because it's when the premise felt fresh and like when it really felt new. So yeah, I'm sure, maybe they'll do more of this, depending on the viewing figures, and I'll be sad. But yeah, in terms of other shows, I saw that Poker Face got canceled, and they're considering, I guess they're shopping it around. Maybe HBO Max could pick it up, but it would rotate like every 2 seasons. I don't. The details are weird. The thing I heard is that like if it gets picked up, then every 2 seasons there'd be a new actor in the main role, and the next one is that Ryan Johnson wants is Peter Dinklage, and Peter Dinklage good at acting, but wouldn't have the same charm that Natasha Lyonne has in this type of role, in my opinion. But if they can keep the crimes creative and whatnot, then it could still be worth seeing. Also, I saw that these articles are saying that Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is pretty much dead, which is kind of like a well duh moment. I mean, there's been no movement for that trilogy in the 8 years since it was announced. So I don't know. I don't really feel like, I love most of Ryan Johnson's movies. The Last Jedi is middle of the road to me. It has brilliant ideas, but then it also feels like it doesn't know what to do with the Resistance storyline. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like I've lost anything with this trilogy not happening. But I guess it's easy to say that when we don't know what the trilogy would have been about, and maybe we'll never know. So it's a huge question mark, I guess. But with Star Wars, I'm hoping for more new stuff. Maybe this trilogy could have been that. For all I know, maybe I I am losing something that I don't know that I need. I feel like Visions has been really expanding stuff, so more of that is a good thing. I saw that Young Jedi Adventures is having more new episodes next month. I need to catch up. I don't think I finished season 2, and we're still wondering when Maul Shadow Lord is coming out. And a couple of friends said they're tired of Maul. I love what animation does with Maul, but pretty much in his whole story, the only thing I really need to see is the Maul and Kira story, like what happened between Solo and Rebels. And I don't know if this will be that story, but I guess we will see. Other stuff that got canceled, English Teacher. I watched the first season and maybe the first episode of season 2, and it's a really funny show, and also touches on like current culture and whatnot. So a bummer that it got canceled. Like there could have been more of this show. On the upside, Nobody Wants This got renewed for a third season. Alien Earth surprisingly got renewed for a second season. I mean, I've shared my thoughts on Alien Earth and how it kind of didn't do it for me, but I mean, I guess we'll see how that ends up. Also, check out my Predator Badlands review up on the Steven Shinder Reviews and Video Forum YouTube channel. There might be something else put up there next week, so we'll see. And I saw that I don't know if I talked about this already, but King of the Hill got renewed for seasons 16 and 17, so it's got next season and then 2 more after that, so that's cool. In terms of new movies, I did watch Eddington, and I thought it was okay. Like, it had some interesting uh, things to say about what 2020 was like, but I also feel like it didn't say as much as it thought it did. I'm not really sure how to explain, but yeah, kind of a strange film. But anyway, Wicked for Good. So I watched Wicked for Good in the theater, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10, whereas the first one was like a 9, 9.5, something like that. So I don't know if I overhyped this one for me. I did not get as emotional during the titular song as I thought I would be. You know, I've teared up during it when watching the musical play, but yeah, it's there's also a bit of like mood whiplash moments. Like there will be a dramatic thing that happens, and then funny interaction happens, and I kind of feel like I was the only one who wasn't into those mood whiplash moments. Like my friends and other people in the theater were into those moments, and I guess enjoyed the movie more than I did, so I felt like kind of an a-hole, but I am glad I saw it. I do hope this at least opens the door for more big budget Oz adaptations. I know there are many, but not many are as well put together, visually as these films are. So I'm hoping for a sort of renaissance. Anyway, I might put together a little review video for the YouTube channel about this movie. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. This podcast will be back next week. This has been season 6, episode 24. But you know what's funnier than 24? 25. That's right. Next week is a SpongeBob movie episode, The Search for SquarePants. So that'll be cool. And also, today's the 30th anniversary of Toy Story. So we'll put the link in the show notes to a little throwback to 5 years ago when I was on the IPC podcast for a Toy Story commentary track. So just a fun little thing for y'all to listen to. So without further delay, have a good day.